Souls games are running rampant these days. Everybody wants a piece of that depressing, action-filled, addicting as hell pie. Whether it's Robot Souls, Samurai Souls, Weeb Souls, or Italian Souls, whatever niche you can think of, it probably has a Souls game to represent it nowadays. And I'm all here for it. I love this formula so much, so the more the better in my mind. But it's gotten so bad, in fact, that in 2025, we now have games copying not just Souls games, but the Soulslikes themselves. One such game is AI Limit, coming out on March 27th of this year, which upon first look, you could easily mistake for being a sequel to Code Vein. But is this new Soulslike actually worth everybody's time? Let's find out. Now, I had the pleasure of trying out the game's demo, which is available to the public on PS5 and Steam. It's only like 2 hours, so try it out if you're interested. But if you don't have that kind of time, stick around and I'll break down my thoughts for you. And maybe you can stick around for even more gaming content on this channel as well. Hi, hello, welcome. Subscribe if you like what you see here today. Know that in this video, I will be making a lot of comparisons to games like Code Vein and Bloodborne, since the game clearly takes heavy inspiration from them. That way, we can also properly judge the new stuff that AI Limit brings to the table of Souls games. Makes it so that when we see something unique, we can go, that's different. Let's first talk a bit about the game's setting, story, and just general vibes. As is Souls tradition, it of course starts off with you waking up in some shithole with no dialogue or explanation. As is another tradition, everybody fucking hates you and wishes you'd go die in another hole somewhere. But what, you thought just because you're some cute anime girl, everybody would just go awooga awooga?
Lady, for the past 2 decades, my diets consisted of mud balls, mud soup, and maybe some mud lasagna if I'm feeling a bit fancy. You think you can just come down here and undepacify me with your thick thighs? Screw you!
But to be fair, our main protagonist over here, or more accurately, our main potato here, doesn't really give these people much reason to engage with her. There really isn't much going on in that head of hers.
Where is this, Blader? What's this place, a void? Is this a branch?
This girl brings fucking Shenmue guy to shame with this dialogue. But the game's called AI Limit, so I'm gonna guess this girl's gonna turn out to be some android or some shit. And speaking of dialogue and androids, holy moly, hello there. I'm guessing this is our firekeeper slash doll, somebody to offer words of comfort amid all this death and despair. Hell yes she is, except for the part where her voice puts me to sleep. Yeah, the English voice acting could definitely use some work here, but despite that, they're still able to sell that dark, post-apocalyptic, desolate, depressing atmosphere. Damn, that's a lot of adjectives. So I'm honestly cool with it. The game now wants me to choose my weapon, which is a great segue to start talking about the gameplay. And we are playing the second coming of anime Souls, so I of course had to choose the weebiest option available to me. Okay, so controls and combat. Combat in general feels very, very good in this game. It's very satisfying. Even these knives I have on me feel like they pack a real punch. Parrying also feels very good. I've never actually managed to get this many parries in these games before, so take that how you will. The parry timing might seem decent or too forgiving for you, depending on what you're used to and how far down the get good hole you've fallen into. But as for me, the parry timing on this feels just right. And of course, if you're not really a parrying kind of person, there is a shield you can use instead. The only thing that feels off really is the dodge roll. There's like a half a second delay between you pressing the button and actually dodging. But honestly, I expected way worse. A slight input delay is something you can easily get accustomed to the more you play. As for animations, they're fine, I guess. But not gonna lie, this being a Chinese game, you know, the country responsible for making stuff like this, and this, and this. Why is everything so smooth? I am slightly underwhelmed seeing my blades magically teleport onto my waist as soon as I'm done with them. This is 100% a nitpick. I normally don't mind stuff like this. It doesn't affect the overall experience, but hey, I gotta get to 10 minutes somehow, bear with me. The stamina system, or the non-stamina system, I guess, is actually very similar to the one you'd find in Long Fallen Dynasty. In short, doing basic attacks builds more energy, increasing the attack power of your specials, which expend energy upon use, and generally sucking at the game moves you to the negative range of energy, where you're now weaker than a crippled toddler. This is a good system that constantly makes you ponder if risking being a bit more aggressive is worth the reward. Last comment I'll make about the controls is that out of everything, they of course had to implement the infamous wonky fucking jump from Dark Souls. Like, could you not have left that part out? Not one single game developer should ever look at this and think to themselves, wow, I'm so inspired by this. So yeah, but I hate this so much. May we never have to use the goddamn analog buttons to jump in a game ever again after this. Next, let's talk enemy design. Now, as far as enemy variety goes, it isn't something I can fully judge in just a 2-hour demo, but expect to see a lot of size variations of the same enemies. In this first area, for example, you of course got your standard post-apocalyptic generic humanoid claw guy. Then you got the same guy again, but with no legs. The same guy on crack. The same guy, but slightly taller, so he gets more HP. And we of course got the same guy, but with a massive fucking pipe. Despite the repetition, enemy placement can make or break it. And I think it makes it. There were some genuinely terrifying moments in this demo. Like, look at this part. I enter this room, kill this one guy, and rest easy thinking I'm done. Then I see these hands slowly crawling up from the bottom of my screen as I slowly start to piss my pants. I can also see this giant robot thing terrifying somebody as well. And these enemies are actually pretty smart. Like, they're not just your dumb, simple-minded zombies. I tried to make one fall off a ledge once, but he was just not having it. Disregard everything I just said. Whoops, I got killed here, but no biggie. Perfect time to see how this game handles losing your souls. Okay, so instead of dropping your souls where you lost them, you instead lose a small percentage of them. Permanently. I don't know how to feel about this, honestly. It's up to preference, really, but I do think I like this approach less. In most Souls games, you drop your souls and have this additional incentive to not mess up this time, so you can collect the souls you dropped and make it so you didn't actually lose anything. Here, you just lose them. That's it. Nothing you can do about it. But while you kind of can do something, after beating the game's first boss, you can set the percentage of souls gained versus the ones lost, which is pretty cool, but I don't know, it's different, I guess. But it feels like this in particular is being different just for the sake of being different. Next up, let's talk about the game's environment and map layout. Oh hey, an elevator. You know what that means. This isn't a Souls game.
Must be opened from the other side.
Oh, never mind. We're back, baby. I don't know about most people, but my favorite feature of Souls games are the dungeons, the areas you explore. I love finding secrets. I love that the games reward exploration. And the dungeon design and layout in this demo is actually pretty winding, even though the areas look fairly distinct. For the first area, I gotta say, I'm impressed. I even got lost a couple of times, which is almost an impossibility in a game, say, like Code Vein, except for that one piece of shit area. I hate you. You can actually kill this giant robot thing I mentioned earlier with the railgun spell. And yes, the railgun is listed under spells. Don't look at me, I didn't make this game. And underneath the thing, you can find this unique enemy guarding a healing spell on the floor behind him. So this game does in fact reward you for exploring off the beaten path, which is perfect and exactly what I play these games for. I do have one negative comment to make about the environment, and that's that the lighting in this game could definitely use some work. Like, you can see here that neither our character nor these enemies are affected by how dark this room is. They're just as brightly lit as they were outside. Finally, let's wrap this up by talking about the boss, and there's not much to talk about really. It's just your generic Souls boss with a berserker form change once he gets to half health. I actually did lose to this guy a couple of times, but that was honestly because I was overcomplicating it by trying to parry every attack. You can just keep circling around this guy, getting a few hits in every now and then. It's the first boss, it really isn't all that special. Once you're done though, you can finally escape this hellhole, and once you finally get some fresh air, the demo ends. Short and sweet, and gives you just enough to know if you'd enjoy the game or not. Once we're done, we unlock the boss challenge mode in the main menu, and here I actually got the chance to try out a portion of what I assume to be some late game weapons, spells, and outfits. My favorite of which being this bunny slash mechanic slash drill gauntlet combination, and I do like this selection of equipment quite a bit. As for the boss challenge mode itself, I tried it out and got my ass handed to me, of course, because I didn't have enough experience with the game to actually beat a boss of this caliber yet. It's like if you beat Grafted Scion and the game immediately put you up against Melania as a reward. You're probably not gonna do that well. But I do appreciate them giving me a taste of how late game bosses play in this demo, as well as a taste of the dirt she's walking on. But now, to answer the question, is this game worth your time? From my first impressions, I'd say AI Limit is a competent Souls-like. If you've expanded the library of Souls games and you're really craving a new one, you really can't go wrong with this one. But if you haven't played the big ones like the actual Souls games, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, or some of the more notable Souls-likes like Neo, The Surge, or hell, I'd even throw Code Vein in there, I'd probably leave AI Limit in the back burner for now. Or just get it if you like what you see. I don't know, man. I make decisions on a whim too. Just know that the game doesn't really do a whole lot to shake up your standard Souls formula, if at all really. The game's main selling point is that it's Dark Souls, but you play as a cute anime girl with a lot of different outfits. That's it really. Anyway, that's all from me for now. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed and want more gaming content just like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.